So what you're saying is, 1, there's a corruption scandal involving all kinds of athletes. 2, our puppet master is a surgeon named Mitchell, a man who happened to fight in the war with Dunn, right?
Every lead I've found points to him.
Anyway, where was I? Number 3, right? 3. Since Dunn was on his trail, Mitchell hired an anteater to get rid of him. Then, since you were also shaking the wasp's nest, he went after you. But the anteater made a mistake, and Mitchell killed him to cover his own tracks. And, wait, 4. The key to all this lies with a common friend of Dunn's and Mitchell's, Craig Spenow. Do you really trust him?
I think everything he said was true. It adds up and confirms everything I've found so far.
4. 5. Dunn was murdered 4 days after taking Speno to his house. If that doesn't make him suspect, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could make sense.
Ha! Who's the detective now? Let's follow up with the suspects. You told Smirnoff that you're starting to have second thoughts about Yale's innocence. But what about O'Leary? 6.
O'Leary wouldn't have sent Randall to kill Dunn. He would have dragged him to his basement, given him his little speech, and then killed him himself. Nah, I know O'Leary, and he wouldn't have sent a hitman. He would have taken matters into his own hands.
What about Cassidy? 7, right?
I think it's safe to rule out Cassidy as Dunn's murderer. He seems too impulsive to have planned such a twisted crime. Whoever planned the whole thing knew the suicide theory would fall through, so he manipulated the clues to incriminate Yale. Cassidy is too impulsive to pull off such an intricate plan.
So, you're right. Mitchell is the one pulling the strings. And you know why? Because in novels, the murderer is always someone the detective knows from the beginning.
Well, that could be the case in British novels. You know, where everyone in the mansion where the murder took place is a suspect. But this might just be an American whodunit, where the detective doesn't even meet the culprit until the last scene.
You mean we still don't know who's pulling the strings?
I didn't say that. How did it go with Helen Moore?
I didn't get anything. Even though it started out really well, I asked to interview her along with her boyfriend, Al Stone. Since I'm a big shot, they were happy to oblige. Perfect. Now, time for the interview. I'll go back and forth so you don't get bored. So, who goes first? Here's one for Helen. what can you say about the rumors that claim you were in a relationship with Desmond O'Leary?
Oh, honey. It would be such a shame to mention that shady character in your article, wouldn't it?
Well, why?
I'm sure your newspaper would hate to fire someone as talented as you.
Oh, okay. Okay, now. Time for a picture.
How should we pose?
Show me your weapons. The fist against the racket. That's it. Perfect. Moving on. Here's a question for Al. In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Yeah, sure.
My Al is going to kick that thug's behind. Isn't that so, honey?
Yeah, well, we'll see. No such thing as a weak rival.
Nonsense. You are and will be world champion. Next question.
Now what? Okay, Helen. Dating a boxer can be dangerous. Aren't you afraid that those blows to the head will take a toll on his intellectual capacity?
Honey, take a look at my man and then look at yourself. You really think I'm with him because of his intellectual capacity?
Helen!
Write this down. Nothing will change my man. His smarts, manliness, and integrity are all boxing proof.
Okay, one more question. And
Al, honey, can you answer it? I've got to go say hi to a fan. I'll be right back, Mr. Pulitzer.
Wait. You mean she stopped smiling when that fan showed up?
yeah.
Could you describe him for me?
I'll be able to show you something as soon as I'm done developing these pictures. And actually, I thought it was odd too. So while I continued to interview Stone, I managed to take some pictures of Moore and whoever her mysterious fan was. All right, so where were we? Are you ever jealous about sharing your sweetheart with America?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm jealous, but I know that someone so popular and honest can draw the wrong kind of attention. There are plenty of people who would love to put an end to her career, so it's not easy.
Let's get that picture taken. Turn around and show me those biceps from behind.
Like that?
That's it. Wait, I accidentally moved. Stand still. I'll take another one. What's with me today? Don't move, please. Now we got it. Should we keep at it? I'm going to take one more, all right? Let's see what you think about this. Close your eyes and rest your chin on your fist. The boxing thinker.
Like these?
Exactly. What's up with me? Stand still. I'll take it again. I can't seem to get it right. Don't move. It's about time. Finally, we're all set.
Wait. So, are you telling me the photos are developed? Or is that what you said to Stone?
Both. Just look.
Who's that guy?
I know he's not a fan. You should have seen her face when she saw him. How much do you think each bicep weighs?
A lot. But less than your tongue.
You're hilarious.
Look at his hand. Is he pulling something out of Moore's purse? Or putting it in? That's a decent picture, but it doesn't tell the truth.
Huh? Of course it's the truth. I was there.
Stone isn't as strong as he looks, and Moore certainly doesn't need him to lift her up. How the hell did you make them pose like that? They're lovers, not sworn enemies.
I don't know. I was focused on my detective skills.
The boxing thinker, the boxing poet. Boxing just might turn out to be the intellectual sport of choice. I think she only smokes when she's nervous. What was making her nervous? I've seen that matchbox before. Wait, that's him.
Who?
Mitchell, the surgeon.
Seriously? We got him.
Not yet.
Right. We still have to find him. Hey, pal. Did you hear what I just said? We need to keep looking at all those pictures. We need a clue that'll take us to Mitchell. Hey, see? There. Just like I was saying.
Brawls aren't even the worst part of my job. Sure, you may take a beating, but at least you get the chance to defend yourself. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff. Your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. People were finally leaving the place. The bar was about to close. And I hadn't seen Mitchell go in or out. I had no choice.
I see you took me up on my invitation. And you're smart. You knew not to come until my anti-fur regulars had all cleared out.
I can't say no to good advice.
Or good bourbon. Here's looking at you, Mr. What was your name?
As far as I knew, La Iguana always stayed neutral. He played poker with Cassidy, but his joint was used as a gambling drop-off for O'Leary's operation. Did it make sense to keep faking it? Or was it too dangerous not to? Blackmore. John H. Blackmore.
I knew it. Although your Texan isn't half bad.
Let's just say I represent certain sports lobbies I'd rather not talk about.
I understand. My pleasure, Mr. Blackmore. You're natural. You're even better at pool than poker.
This is much easier. No one can cheat.
You barely flinched when Cassidy decided to teach that eagle a lesson.
What do you want me to say? Between you and me, it's not the first time I find myself in this situation. Who doesn't have their own barber with a license to kill? Damn it.
Well, nobody's perfect. Tell me, what do you really want with Cassidy? I just don't understand your motives.
You know how a scout goes out to Little League games in search of young talent? Well, that's what I was doing at your poker game. But it's too soon to tell.
Don't worry about it. I was only curious. So, what about me? What do you want from me? No one comes to La Iguana just to drink and play pool.
I'm looking for one of your regulars, Dr. Angus Mitchell.
What for?
I don't want to be rude, but it's really none of your business.
I don't have time to explain how things work here at La Iguana, but I'll be blunt. Not this way.
You don't understand. I have to talk to him, or else.
Or else what?
I don't think Cassidy would be too happy about the role his poker buddy plays in O'Leary's gambling operation. I'm sure you understand that.
Son of a bitch. All right. Give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call when Mitchell shows up.
No. You're gonna call him right now, and you're gonna give him this message. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff, your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. It's so bad that your thoughts spiral in a never-ending loop. Like when you're stuck in your car, on surveillance duty. The owner of La Iguana was supposed to tell Mitchell that a certain anteater was still alive, and that it was only a matter of time before he ratted him out. With a bit of luck, that would make him nervous enough to force his hand. Now all I had to do was follow him. He went in without it. I wonder what's in it.
We'll be just fine, don't worry. Gil, stand guard right here. If the cat shows up, you know what to do. I'll be back in an hour.
Could I take him by surprise from over there? Although I don't know how I'd get there. Of course, he's Randall Lee's partner. I should be careful. When they gave me a beating, I could see he was kinda trigger happy. Mitchell, who fought with Dunn during the war, tried to pass as Yale's doctor. When you want to be silent, noise can be your best ally. I did mess up a guy's face with an extinguisher once, but this kind is too heavy for my current needs. What does this place have to hide? Will I need help? Who would I call?
Smirnoff.
Pier 36. Meet me in an hour.
Blacksad.
If you're coming from Montgomery, it's the 6th sea-facing warehouse.
What's going on?
And bring the cavalry. According to this, the warehouse belonged to a Canadian import company. It could be an Ojibwa totem pole, in which case, the top animal would be a crane. If I'm not mistaken, these are incense sticks, used in cleansing rituals. A dream catcher. It's supposed to protect children during the night, trapping all evil in its spider web. Don't you even think of screaming.
I might not even talk.
It looks like an arrowhead. Everything seems to prove that Gil is a Native American, and I'm almost sure that the woman in the picture is his mother. You know who'll always believe in you? Your mother. And I gave her plenty of reasons when I was a kid. It all started with something as stupid as keeping the change when she sent me for groceries. Then I started stealing fruit from the street stands. And finally, I turned to pickpocketing. Somehow, my mother managed to keep me in school until I got into college. But I never gave her reasons to believe in me then either. I made new friends. The type of friends that convince you to do things that wouldn't make a mother proud. Then Pearl Harbor happened. I got drafted and sent to Europe. They told me killing was my moral duty, but I discovered it could be addictive. Not all victims were Nazis. But when I got back, I was treated like a pariah, a veteran outcast who never should have come back in the first place. And yet, my mother never ceased to...
I also fought in the war. That's where I met Mitchell. They used me, like many of my people. And then they just tossed us aside. The first time Mitchell offered me to do this, I told him to take a hike. I wanted to get my act together, but I ended up begging him. I don't like Mitchell. I don't like the things he makes me do. I don't like that German rat either. But what I like least of all is myself. I don't like what I did during the war, and I don't like what I'm doing now. Do you know what it's like to kill a friend for the sake of the mission? Huh. my mother. She always thought I'd make amends and start anew. Maybe it's time I did just that. It's number 3.
What if it was Gil who killed his partner Randall Lee under Mitchell's orders?
Subject, Brunhilde Gruner. Treatment, day 1500. The patient's ability to speak continues to diminish. Now she can only pronounce the occasional word in German. Tissue degeneration persists. And yet, perhaps due to drastic reduction of benzylprodine dosage and an increase of ibupropion, we have observed a 3% of deceleration of said degeneration. Furthermore, and perhaps this is the best finding so far, the subject exhibits a mild recovery of her speaking. It's not a lot, and yet we are on the right track. All hope is not lost. Subject, Craig Spano. Treatment, Day 0. The subject is a veteran baseball player who has lost speed, strength, and agility due to the regular aging process. The patient refers intense pain on the right scapula, most likely caused by an old injury. The goals of our medical approach are twofold: to relieve pain caused by the prior injury so that the subject can play without symptoms, and to help the patient regain the physical condition lost in the aging process, thus allowing him to perform at elite levels. Treatment. Day 120. The patient no longer feels pain when using his right arm, circumstance that allows him to pitch without fear. So far, the only side effect seems to be a slight euphoria experienced 3 hours after dosage, which subsides 4 hours later, taking the patient on an emotional roller coaster of sorts with bouts of mild trembling. Treatment. Day 341. Moments of euphoria and boosted physical performance have become increasingly short, while the ensuing periods of depression and weakness have become longer, including severe tremor. Although we have met all therapeutic goals, we will proceed to terminate the treatment in order to avoid causing irreparable physical and mental damage to the patient.
A list of names, somehow related to chemical agents? Mitchell is cashing in by selling drugs to enhance athletes' performances.